Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om, dear students. In my previous two sessions, I have explained how to convert active voice sentences to passive voice sentences. In part 1, I explained how to convert declarative sentences. In my part 2 session, I have explained how to convert interrogative sentences with reference to yes/no question and WH question. Today's session we are going to discuss about the imperative sentences. So let's not wait, let's begin. Before I start, let's know what is imperative sentence. Normally imperative sentences are the sentences which describe order, command, request, advise, appeal, urge, or something like that. So if such kind of feelings are expressed in those sentences, it will be called as imperative sentences. Structurally, the remarkable part of imperative sentences is that it does not have the subject. And if we need to decide who is the subject supposed to be, then it is supposed to be you. It is supposed to be you. If I tell you one example, shut the door. In this sentence, when I say I'm giving an order to somebody. So here, shut the door means you are supposed to go and shut the door. Get me a glass of water. In this, again, I'm making a request to you to bring a glass of water. So these sentences do not have the subject. Now in active and passive voice, we know whenever we want to convert, we must know the subject and we should know also the object. But if the subject is not there, then how are we supposed to deal with? That we are going to learn in this slide. Let's now start. If your sentence is with one object, as I gave the example, shut the door, there one object is there. In that case, we can follow one method. Another case, there are something like there is no object. If I say get out, there is no object in there. So in that case, how are we supposed to handle? And third case will be some moral suggestion will be there. Respect your country. Respect your parents. Like that, sentences will be given where moral value will be included. So let us now deal with the first kind. Let's now look at the type 1, that is with object. If our imperative sentence given has one object, at that time what should we do? What we have to do to write the answer? We have to get the word let plus the same object that is there in the question. We should write that plus be should be written and V3 form of the verb that is given in the imperative sentence that is supposed to be used. Look at one example. Catch the cat. In this sentence, if you see, the cat is our object. Catch is the verb. Now what we are supposed to do in the beginning, we are supposed to write the word let. After that, what we are supposed to do, as I said here, object is supposed to be brought. The cat. And after that, what we are supposed to do, we have to write the word be. Let the cat be. And then finally, we have to write the V3 form of the verb. Now, what is the verb given with us? Catch. Now, the V3 form of the verb is CAUGHT. So, the answer is going to be let the cat be caught. By you, it's not at all needed. We are not supposed to write it. So, the answer is supposed to be let the cat be caught. Let's now look at one more example. Do your homework. In this case, again, if you see, your homework is the object. Do is the verb. Now, what we are supposed to do? We have to write the word let, then your homework, then be will come, and after that, we will get the V3 form of do. Do, did, done. So, done will be the word. So, finally, the answer will be let your homework be done. Now, this will be the final answer for the question do your homework. Got it? Let's now look at the second category of imperative sentences where we do not have an object. In that case, what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to write you are plus the imperative verbs V3 form. Imperative verb means what? The words of request, command, appeal. Those all verbs are supposed to be written in third form, past participle form, plus 2 plus V1 plus object will be coming. Now look at one example. Get out. Earlier also I have told the same sentence, get out. In that case, you understand what is the imperative verb? Most probably you can say it is an order or a kind of command. So what we are supposed to do, you are ordered to get out will be the class. So in this case, what will happen? The answer will be you are ordered to get out. That will be the answer. Look at one more example. Stay at home. Now again in this sentence, what do you find? No object at all. Then what are you going to say in this? What kind of imperative feeling given here? Are we ordering somebody? Are we commanding somebody? Probably you can say we are advising somebody. So in that case, what we are supposed to say, you are advised to stay at home. You are and advised, that is the V3 form of the imperative verb. 2 plus V1 will be there, and whatever the complement part is there, that way we are going to get it. Don't confuse with this V1 with the V3 form of the imperative verb. Be careful with that. Let's now look at the third category where a moral suggestion is there. In that case, what we are supposed to say? Whatever the object is mentioned in the question, same object should be written and should be plus V3 to be written. If you look at the example, you can easily figure it out. Respect your elders. Yes, we should respect our elders. So, your elders here is the object. That should be made here. Then should plus be plus V3. V3 respected. So the answer will be your elders should be respected. If you look at one example more, help the poor. Then what will happen? We have to write this, the poor in the beginning. The poor should be help, V3 form helped. So the answer will be the poor should be helped. That is the way to do it. So far we have discussed about how to convert active voice to passive voice. First case we learned from declarative sentences, then we went to interrogative sentences, and last case we went with imperative sentences. Now some exceptional cases are there where all these rules and regulations that we have learned will not be coming to use. We have to apply certain special rules. Now what are those special rules? Let us look at one by one. The very first one is that all the time we cannot convert one sentence into passive. What is that case? We must have the transitive verb. If a transitive verb is there in a sentence, then only we can convert that one to passive. Now, what is a transitive verb? A transitive verb is a verb in which the action moves from the doer to the object. A person who does certain work, that action would be getting moved from one person to the other. Now, if we look at the example here, the boy ate an apple. Now, the boy is the subject, an apple is the object. Now, what is the verb or what is the action? Ate. So, the eating process is moving from this boy to the apple. Now, when we convert that one to passive, we understand that the object has got some effect. Something is acted upon the object. So, what happens? The apple gets eaten. The apple was eaten by the boy. So, if that action, eat, has an object for it, we call that one as transitive verb. But there are some cases where verb is there, but we may not have the object for that. For example, if you look at the example given here, the boy slept in the afternoon. The action is sleeping. The boy is the subject, but there is no object to the word sleep. In that case, we cannot convert that one to passive. So, a few examples of transitive verbs are like eat, play, write, kick, scold, like many are there. And a few intransitive verbs are like sleep, go, walk. For these, we don't have an object. For example, if I say I slept, what? I slept on the table, on the bed, at night, but I can't say I slept the bed. Cannot be said. Like that, go, a walk, etc. also cannot be converted to passive. That we have to remember. Let's look at special case 2. This is related to the preposition by. By preposition in the beginning also I have already mentioned that it is not always used. Now some special prepositions will be used to with the words like known, married, obliged. At preposition will be used with shocked, astonished, surprised, alarmed. With preposition will be used with tired, satisfied, charmed, disgusted. In preposition will be used with interested. Another one is there. At preposition is used when pleased word is there for non-personal thing, non-person thing, like an object. Pleased takes with when it is dealing with one person. Let's look at a few examples. One, Ajit married Anita. In this, when we convert that one to passive, it is supposed to be Anita was married to Ajit. Here, by Ajit is going to be wrong. So you have to be careful with that. Look at one more example. Your result shocked me. Now, if you look at this, shock word is there. And as I have said, shock will take the preposition at. So, I was shocked at your result, not by your result. One more example, if you see, your behavior pleased me. Here, if you look at behavior and please, behavior is non-personal thing, means non-living thing. So, in that case, I was pleased at your behavior. Another example, your friend pleased me. Here, friend is a living being. So, a person. In that case, I was pleased with your friend. This why it became at there and why it became with here, you have to be very careful with that. Here, at is used, the reason is that here, non-living thing is there, and here, with is here because living being is there. So, the friend is there, that's why. Got it? Let's look at the third special rule. What is that? I have up to now told that every time subject becomes object and object becomes subject. And while making the subject as object, by plus object I have been telling. But now a special case is there where you need not put by plus object all the time. Now what is that? Let's look at. If the subject is not known or let's say not important, in that case we need not use by plus object. And another case is there where the subject is very obvious or understood or it is supposed to be like that. In that case also we need not use by plus object. If you look at a couple of examples, you will be able to understand it. Let's look at here. Someone has stolen my pen. Now here the subject is someone. Now who is the someone? It can be some definite. Pen will not be stolen by any cat or dog. It will be stolen by someone only. So it is, not material, not so important. So it can be anybody, unknown, not so important. In that case, we can go on using without by plus object. So what will be the answer? My pen has been stolen. By plus object is not at all needed. You are not supposed to write. Look at one more example. The postman delivered the letter. Now in this case, what happens here? Delivered the letter. Letter is supposed to be delivered by whom? Normally the postman. It is obvious. It is understood. We don't find, let's say, a doctor coming and delivering a letter. You don't find a policeman coming and delivering a letter. In that case, what we are supposed to do? Not to mention the postman. By the postman, we are not supposed to use because it is obvious. A postman only is supposed to come and deliver the letter. So the answer will be the letter was delivered by the postman is not at all required. Look at one more example. The police caught the thief. Now we know in our society, normally thieves are caught by police only. Nobody else normally catches. So police, it is their duty, it is their responsibility that they will come and do the investigation and catch the thief. So in that case, what we have to do? The answer will be the thief was caught by the policeman is not supposed to be written. But in some cases, if the thief is caught by somebody else, then what happens? Let us say last night some thief came and then stole something from my home. And next morning, somehow, by using his intelligence, my uncle was able to catch the thief. In that case, my uncle caught the thief. It is unusual. In that case, what we have to do? We have to use that by plus object compulsorily. Because the subject who performed the duty was not supposed to be obvious. It was supposed to be something very different caught by my uncle. Let's now look at the fourth special case in which we are going to have two objects. If we have two objects, one is supposed to be called as direct object, the other one is supposed to be indirect object. The direct object is normally the non-living thing. Indirect object obviously will be the living thing. In that way, what we can do is to convert the passive voice in either way. We can convert that one with direct object as the subject, or we can also use indirect object as the subject in the sentence. Let us now look at one example. My father gave me a pen. Now if you look at this sentence, my father is the subject, gave is the verb in V2 form, me is one object. Now a book is also an object. Now if we look at which one is the non-living object, a book, so that is called as direct object. Which one? A book. And what is indirect object? Me. Me is the indirect object. Now in this case we can convert that one with indirect object as the subject. Then what will happen? I was given a book by my father. That would be one case. Or I have to make another one. A book was given to me by my father. Let's look at those two sentences. I was given a book by my father seems quite normal, but when you use the direct object, that is the non-living thing, you have to be very careful to use the preposition to. This is very crucial. If you miss that, again it will be wrong. So choice is yours. Normally some grammarians are of the opinion that with the indirect object, that is the living being, we are supposed to go with converting the active voice to passive voice. Let's look at one more example. I am teaching you English grammar. In that case, what is happening? I is the subject, teaching is the verb in V4 form because the sentence is in present continuous structure. You is the object, and what is this object? Indirect object, right? And English grammar, that is the direct object. Now what you can do is with either one you can make the sentences, as I have told you already, but making the sentence with indirect object would be preferred in some cases. Then what will happen? The first sentence, you are being taught English grammar by me. You need not worry about the preposition or other things there. That way it will be easy for you to make. But in case you want to make the direct object, that is the English grammar, in that case what you have to do? To you, that would be added there. So English grammar is being taught to you by me will be coming there. Hope you understood this. Now let's look at special case number 5. In this case, what we are going to get is kind of structure there is no plus subject plus infinitive will be there. For that, what we need to do is to bring the same structure plus 2 plus b plus v3 will be there. Let's look at one example. There is no time to waste. Here, the same structure we have to follow. 2b and v3 will be used. So, 2b wasted. So, there is no time to be wasted. That will be the answer. Let's look at one more example. There is no food to throw. Here what will you do? There is no food plus 2b plus v3 of throw, that is thrown. So there is no food to be thrown. That will be the answer. Now let's look at special case 6. In this case, what will happen? The beginning of the sentence will be, it is time plus infinitive plus object will be there. Now, if you look at the sentence example, it is time to close the shop. If you look at this, what is supposed to be done? We have to bring same, it is time, then for plus the subject, and then to be plus v3 will be there. So it is time for the shop to be closed. One more example, it is time to stop the lesson. In this case, what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to bring the same, it is time, then we have supposed to put for, then what is the subject? The lesson plus 2b plus v3. So it is time for the lesson to be stopped. That will be the answer for that. Now let's look at the special condition, that is special case number 7. That is the last one. In this case, you will find the active sentences beginning with it is believed that whatever, or people believe that, or we know that. In that case, how are we going to handle? Let's look at one example. It is believed that the sky is blue. In this case, what we have to do is to bring the same subject that is mentioned here. What is the subject mentioned? The sky. So the sky will be brought here. Whatever believed verb is there, that we are supposed to make that one into v3 and in passive form. So the sky is believed plus to be whatever the adjective mentioned there. So it is believed that the sky is blue. The answer will be the sky is believed to be blue. Now one more. People believe that Ram was a perfect king. Same way, if we go on converting, Ram was believed to be a perfect king. That will be the answer for that. In our previous session, I had given a small exercise to convert voice for interrogative sentences. Now it's time to look at the answers and check out if your answers are matching with mine.